Welcome back. So, what we were discussing was that P3, P2 loop, what occurs actually zaps our energy. तो हमें जब भी मानसिक चित्र के वजह से कोई संवेदन आता है, so from the psychological perception, if we start sensing physiological sensation, that becomes a vicious cycle or repeating cycle. चक्रव्यूह बन जाता है और उस चक्रव्यूह हमारे ऊर्जा खा लेती है. पूरा ऊर्जा का एक मेजर portion of the energy gets engaged there, and in that state of being our sensory compromise happens. So Shilpi asked before we went for a break that how the awareness gets expanded. ये जो चेतना में बढ़ोतरी कैसे होती है अगर हमें ये लूप ना आए, उसका फिजिक्स क्या है? तो चेतना का बढ़ोतरी जितना ज्यादा हमारा इंद्रिय का एक्सपीरियंस होता है, सेंसरी एक्सपीरियंसेस, मोर द सेंसरी एक्सपीरियंसेस, better the state of or deeper the state of awareness. कैसे ना? हम देखते हैं, सुनते हैं, सूंघते हैं, टेस्ट करते हैं, टच करते हैं. ये जो करते हैं एनर्जी को, ऊर्जा को यूज करके ही करते हैं. तो अगर हमारे पास ऊर्जा की कमी है तो ये सारे कम हो जाएगा ना. अगर ऊर्जा में बढ़ोतरी हो गया तो ये सारे खुल जाएंगे. पहले जितना देखते थे अभी ज्यादा देखेंगे, पहले जितना सुनते थे अभी ज्यादा सुनेंगे. उसी तरह सारे इंद्रिय काम करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे, सारे सेंसेस एक्चुअली और भी एनहांस हो जाएंगे और उसी से कनेक्ट होके जेन्युइन सेंसेशन आएंगे और जेन्युइन अवेयरनेस हमें मिलेगा. ये इस वजह से शिल्पी आप फॉलो कर पा रहे हैं?
हाँ. I'm just thinking if we were to look at the same example that Ram was looking at of this person who has faced this.
Simply that individual after getting cheated is not perturbed, is not disturbed at all, is not disturbed.
He
just looking at the fact internally,
not
whatever he is acting or responding. We are not talking about that. Internally, it's absolutely undisturbed state of being. So think about the energy that an individual will have to deal with the situation. This is absolutely physics. There is nothing supernatural thing that we are discussing here. It's absolute physics. If someone is not disturbed, the dealing will be better, yes or no?
कल्याण को
Yes. बताएं. आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा.
कल्याण सर, ये आप भी आ रहा है क्या? हेलो, अभी आ रहा है सर?
अभी आ रहा. बताएं.
हाँ, तो अवेयरनेस, आपने चेतना अवेयरनेस के लिए यूज किया शब्द.
हाँ जी.
तो समझ और चेतना मतलब चेतना अवेयरनेस मतलब मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
ठीक है, आप वर्ड को रिप्लेस कर लीजिए. अवेयरनेस का जो भी हिंदी होगा वो रिप्लेस कर लीजिए.
ओके, समझ.
हाँ, समझ ले लीजिए. समझ वर्ड ले सकते हैं आप. हाँ.
So can we say that in the same example, if that person has conserved energy, he's able to then, whatever the sensory inputs happen from here on, whatever he needs to do, it is going to come, his sensation is going to come from that and not from this, even though it is a fact that somebody has cheated on him and whatever has happened with him, his sensation is being driven by whatever sensory inputs are around him right now. So his sensation is not
Even the cheating interpretation also will dissolve. Somebody has taken some money which was kept with this individual. That will be the term,
right.
that
It
my
was
money
there with
also will go off. My
yes.
money thing also will go up. That's another perception has been believed that this money is mine. That will also will go up, because if that person, Ram, are you able to comprehend this?
Yeah. I was unable to unmute. Yeah. So yeah, I have a follow-up question. Yeah, let her complete.
Yeah. So Shilpi,
Yes.
yes.
So
Yeah.
basically,
So that individual is not sticky,
whatever
is not
the
any
sensory input.
stickiness. That individual is
Yes.
not sensing any stickiness with the money had been stolen at the first place. So think about that state of being. So he'll
Yes.
just end up observing this aspect that, okay, it's somebody's money taken by someone. This is just a fact. Now he will go on inquiring it further, and what will happen, you don't know, but he is with an abundance of energy right now.
So it's going to have no change in the natural order. It won't, almost what we are saying is it won't bring any change in the natural order.
Yeah.
If it was in the natural
Yes.
order from the time when this incident had not happened.
Your
Hello. Yeah.
network is patchy a bit. I don't know.
Okay.
In
No,
between,
I'm saying, yeah. Could you hear me now?
Yes. Please go on.
So I'm saying that in the natural order, if things were to happen, there won't be any impact except for a psychological perception that something like this has happened, but that is not going to be the dominant.
There will be no difference psychologically between a state of cheated, so-called, quote unquote, and normal watching a football match. There is no speciality of the moment that occurs in that state of being. All moments are equally important and equally unimportant, because each moments are fresh.
So that person will go on with the natural order the way he would have gone on without this incident happening, because
with abundance of energy.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. So now
the person may not dwell on my money and instead would look at it as someone's money got stolen by someone else, because that is a more holistic way of looking at it rather than the ego lens of my money and my this thing. Then one gets mesmerized with that event and gets overwhelmed.
Yes, that's the stickiness. That's the attachment. The moment I start considering this is my money, psychologically, see, psychologically, it's not that you are just throwing all the money that you have. This is not the proposal, but how you are sticking to the possessions that you are considering that you possess. That's what we are discussing. Yes, Ram.
And it can be the same with time and effort also.
Yes.
My time I have given to this,
yes.
the effort that I have made, all of it.
So that's a stickiness to the action,
Yes.
It will be effortful. The action, if it is just flowing through you, then how can you be sticky to it? It will just happen. It will flow. Yes, Ram, please.
Yeah, so what I wanted to check is see, be in that same scenario in today's world, you take 100 people, the same way they're going to go through, and probably by inherited knowledge, whatever I have, in the Stone Age also, probably people might have disappointed for, something they hunted. So if we are saying this is natural, then probably how the humankind, did we slip in between, or from the beginning the humankind follow this situation
actually,
of
this
people?
point had been discussed in the morning because of the neural complexity, because of the neural complexity and recognition of pleasure. See, most of the animals, they are all hedonistic, like pleasure seeking, always seek pleasure and avoid pain. This is a nature general phenomena for all the organisms. Now, human being, what happens, could recognize that the pleasure is important, and with the application of the neural capability, could replicate pleasure externally. Replicate the pleasure externally to stimulate pleasure. And this becomes a vicious cycle. This comes out of this P3, P2 loop. You know, that I will create a pleasure myself, whereas the pleasure is just an indicator of life. It's not the goal of life.
Is there anything like natural pleasure?
Yes, yes. When one is hungry and eating a fresh mango, it's a pleasure. Without the pleasure, the individual will not eat mango. A piece of stone, despite having hunger, cannot be eaten. So the source of that taste is not modified by anyone. It is an emergence in nature. You understand the emergence? It is just flowered in the nature. And the tongue human has got mapped into it. As simple as that. And that taste is the indicator of the needed element by the body. वो जो स्वाद है, वो स्वाद इंडिकेट करती है जो जरूरत वाले तत्व है वो उसके अंदर है. इतना ही बस, उससे बहुत ज्यादा कुछ नहीं. और अगर हमने वो स्वाद को ही चेंज कर दिया, if we just modify that taste, then we modify the complete connection. So whatever now we are putting into the body is unneeded by the body, and it is a toxin, direct toxin. What is toxin? Toxin is unneeded substance for a specific body or organism. So something unneeded is being overloaded on the body, which is not at all palatable. So that's a natural pleasure. Natural pleasure definitely is there, which is very much self-regulated. Right. Now, the story doesn't end here by just taking an action from sensation. So action from sensation is actually, this one is called obsessive action. Obsessive action. Now with that, when we go on, then there will be, most of the cases, the desired outcome won't be there because of the lack of energy. You know, most of the cases, the desired outcome was here. That won't come here. So when there is a mismatch of the outcome and the desired outcome, the perception will come from action.
What do we mean by desired outcome?
P3 is a desired outcome. It's a goal kept in the mind about the outcome of action. Believing that from sensation I have taken the action. मैं एग्जांपल देता हूं. मुझे ऐसा करते हैं, क्या करें, कुछ IAS बनना है. I want to become IAS. तो फिर उसको सच मान के उसी पे पूरा छोक रहे थे अपना सारा एफर्ट. सो
IAS बनना है because IAS बन के ऐसा होता है. कुछ भी होता है. IAS ही बनना है. Not IAS बनना है. एक फोटो तो रखे है ना दिमाग में, जब मुझे ये फलाना काम करना है जिसका आउटकम ये है. इसको समझने की कोशिश कीजिए.
सर, कल्याण सर.
हाँ जी.
लेकिन अभी शिल्पी बोल रही है तो ऐसे भी हो सकता है ना, मतलब आईएएस बनना है, मम्मी पापा कह रहे हैं इसके लिए आईएएस बनना है, और दूसरा एक आईएएस बनना है कि मुझे काम करना है दूसरों के लिए, तो इंटेंशन का भी यहाँ पे ये है ना, मतलब इंटेंशन भी अलग है तो आईएएस बनने का ये भी अलग ही हो गया।
हो सकता
तो
है जो
क्या गोल
आप आईएएस बन गए हो और आप बहुत फिलैंथ्रोपिस्ट हो, आपको दूसरों के लिए काम करना है इस इरादे से आईएएस बने हो, और आपको जाके ताबेदारी करना है कोई पॉलिटिकल लीडर। आपको कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिल रहा किसी गरीब या जरूरतमंद बंदे का हेल्प करने का। ये पॉसिबिलिटी है? हाँ, पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकता है ना ये। हाँ, तो उस दशा में क्या होगा? फ्रस्ट्रेशन आएगा। जब मैंने तो इतना मेहनत करके आईएएस किया लोगों को हेल्प करने के लिए, तो मुझे अभी इसके गेट में बैठना पड़ता है, इसके पीछे पीछे घूमना पड़ता है, पॉलिटिकल लीडर के पीछे पीछे घूमना पड़ता है जो करप्टेड है, मुझे दिख रहा है। समझ पा रहे? जो किसी भी वक्त मेरा जो गोल है वो चकनाचूर हो ही सकता है, क्योंकि मैंने ठान के बैठा था जी यही गोल आउटकम होगा, यही आउटकम होगा, तो मैं दुखी होऊंगा, मैं फ्रस्ट्रेटेड होऊंगा, मैं डिप्रेशन में जाऊंगा, मैं सुसाइड करूंगा।
So what you're saying is that any goal, if it is pre-decided, basically, whatsoever is can may bring like
so the fact,
not matching the
fact is
expectation.
definitely going to be something else, not the decided one.
What if it's the same?
It cannot be, because you are just identifying a portion of the outcome as the goal, whereas the outcome is a bigger chunk in truth.
Yeah, we cut cake. Rishabh had it. Some of us saved.
Yes? Are you with it? The outcome is not just whatever you have designed or sketched in the mind. Outcome is a bigger chunk out there that is happening. And you are not noticing all those other things other than your goal. वो घोड़ों के सामने लगा रहता है ना आई गार्ड, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ऐसा करके, ताकि वो दिखे ना। Am I audible?
Yes,
Blinders.
उस जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको बिनम?
I think blinders.
हाँ, blinders जो होता है, तो blinders blinds, but it actually focuses on something specific, and that specific thing actually depriving me to have the sight of the whole. पूरा देखने नहीं दे रहा मुझे, क्योंकि वहीं पर तो मेरा गड़ा हुआ है मेरा नजर। समझ पा रहे हैं कंसंट्रेशन एंड अटेंशन का फर्क? Concentration, when we focus on something specific, that is a depleting of energy, and attention is a release of energy when you are attentive to everything. Attention cannot be on something specific. Ayushi ji kuch bolenge, please. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking that then जो हम goal set करते हैं, like it's for if we say it for kids that they want to become something, so is that wrong?
We are not discussing here right and wrong.
Okay.
Are we discussing right and wrong here?
No, because as you are explaining, so with that I get that we should not be
no, there is no should and should not being discussed here. What we are trying to understand is the impact on the energy. Impact on the energy. That's it.
Yeah, so if like with this discussion, you said that setting a goal is a kind of depletion of energy,
yes,
right?
Whatsoever. This is very important. Whatsoever. Because it works in the same framework. It works in the same framework. So this P1 now is bringing a perception in form of justification. इसको समझ लीजिए थोड़ा, उसके बाद आते हैं।
धन्यवाद सर।
हाँ प्रोजेक्ट था,
ओके
ये कंप्लीट कर लेने दीजिए।
ये
ये
ओके सर, ओके,
है ये। so
श्योर
when
सर, यस,
when we have a compromised outcome in the physical action, तो फिर हम क्या करते हैं, हम जस्टिफाई करते हैं ना, इस कारण से नहीं हुआ, अरे यार इस बार इतना क्वेश्चन हार्ड आया था, मेरा नंबर ठीक नहीं आया, उस वजह से, ये सब जस्टिफिकेशन आता है। और अगर बाय चांस में सक्सेस हो गया तो फिर तो और तगड़ा जस्टिफिकेशन होता है। देखा, लाइफ यही है, गोल बनाओ उसको अचीव करो, गोल बनाओ उसको अचीव करो, और पूरा जिंदगी ये इसी दौड़ में लगा रहता है। क्योंकि जब भी कोई गोल खत्म होता है, अगर सक्सेस हो गया तो दूसरा गोल तुरंत तैयार हो जाता है, उसके पीछे भी आपको दौड़ना है, फिर वो हो जाता है तो फिर और एक गोल लगा के दौड़ना है। यही है ना, गोल का तो फिनोमिना यही है। क्योंकि जब तक गोल के पीछे दौड़ रहे हैं तब तक खुद को बोल रहे हैं कि यही जिंदगी का मकसद है, दिस इज द पर्पस ऑफ माई लाइफ। नाउ आफ्टर अचीवमेंट और फेलिंग आई एम कन्विंसिंग माई सेल्फ, नो नो दैट वॉज नॉट द पर्पस, नाउ दिस इज द पर्पस, द न्यू पर्पस। एंड द स्टोरी कंटिन्यूज, the story continues of just pattern shifting of the goals। एंड होता क्या है, आखिर में क्या हो रहा, मैं तो खुद को धोखा दिए जा रहा हूं ना, खुद को जब बोल रहा हूं कि यही पर्पस है लाइफ का, जब पर्पस अचीव हो गया उसके बाद भी लाइफ तो खत्म नहीं हुआ, तो फिर मैं बोल रहा हूं नहीं नहीं अभी तक तो मैं झूठ बोल रहा था, अभी जो है ये है पर्पस। यही होता है ना स्टोरी। हाँ प्रोजेक्ट आप बताइए।
सर आप कंसंट्रेशन और अटेंशन का बता रहे थे ना, वो फिर से बताएंगे।
हाँ जी, कंसंट्रेशन ये होता है जहां पर आप कोई एक स्पेसिफिक चीज पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं, स्पेसिफिक चीज पे फोकस कर रहे हैं। तो जब स्पेसिफिक चीज पे हम फोकस करते हैं तो बाकी चीजें धुंधला हो जाती हैं, बाकी चीजें हम देख नहीं पाते हैं। और अटेंशन इज अ स्टेट ऑफ माइंड, वहां पर सारे चीज आपके सामने एक एक सिमिलर फैशन से अवेलेबल है, और आप पूरे ऊर्जा के साथ उसके बीच में अवेलेबल। यह है अटेंशन। कंसंट्रेशन इज अ स्पेसिफिक फोकस ऑन एनीथिंग, कुड बी मेंटली कुड बी फिजिकली, बट स्पेसिफिक फोकस दे रहे हैं, खुद पे एक दबाव डाल रहे हैं जो इधर ही देखना है, उसका एक कारण देंगे, वो P3 होगा, उसका एक कारण देंगे खुद को, जो इस वजह से इधर देखना है। तो उसको बिलीव करते हुए हमें देखना है, तो यानी कि यही काम कर रहे हैं हम, ये जो देख रहे हैं स्क्रीन में P3 P2 का लूप ये चल रहा है, और इसके वजह से ऑब्सेसिव एक्शन आ सकता है, और इसके वजह से जस्टिफिकेशन का एंगल भी आ सकता है, जस्टिफाई करना है एक्शन को उसका रिजल्ट को लेके। जो रैशनल एक्शन होता है वो जस्टिफिकेशन के परे है, जस्टिफिकेशन का कोई जरूरत नहीं होता है, कोई कारण दिखाने का जरूरत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि आपसे हुआ ही नहीं, ये तो फ्लो हुआ है।
एंड ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, अगर हम जो भी इमर्ज कर रहा है वो हम काम कर रहे हैं विद द टेंटेटिवनेस, विद द ओपननेस कि इसके अंदर कुछ चेंज आ सकता है और शायद आएगा ही, और उसके साथ जो I'm just thinking of this in the natural order, that then whatever is the sensory input, I am more aware of the sensory inputs of the five senses, and whatever sensation it is bringing in the process of doing that work. And a perception is getting formed from the sensation, and that is leading me to the action again, I mean with the input, sensory input again, and that's how the cycle of work is going. And
Yes.
in that the emergence of whatever we are doing keeps happening.
Yes, yes, and that's a very energetic flow. The energy is flowing abundantly in this flow. when it happens that way.
Yeah. So none of the P3, P2 loops are blocking the perception, or
Yes.
in a
Yeah, so
in a
P3, P2 loop is nothing but a blockage or the stagnation of perception. Stagnation of perception. And actually, the fact is perception is always dynamic. It is never stagnated. Naturally, the perception is always dynamic because every moment is fresh in a natural order. So in that, you cannot stagnate a perception. You cannot preconceive an outcome.
So when we say every moment is fresh, even though P3 to P1 is happening.
P3 to P1 is happening. Yes, yes.
Because it's not concluded.
Yeah.
I am able to see that moment as fresh.
Yes.
Despite that perception being there.
Yes. So I have that responsive memory of fire and the experience of burning last time. But now this next time when I am seeing the fire and I am interacting with the fire, that time I have the support of that responsive memory, but I am not having any conclusion about the next experience, that how it is going to happen. You know, so that there is no sensation about it. It is just an understanding that from where I'm operating. There is no scary image of the fire or considering that fire is a great thing. Fire is another existence, which is because of the previous experience is hotter than the normal. This much information. And with that, an inquisitive state of trying to experience it now in a newer way, perhaps.
And same way, say in that example of somebody snatching money or something.
Yes.
Whenever
yes.
I am going somewhere, I'm not scared that somebody may do it again.
Yes.
But I'm, it's that responsive memory that
yes.
I'm probably more careful
yes.
in the way I.
And more importantly, more importantly, this is very interesting that you are meeting the same person next time. How you are going to meet? Can you meet him fresh, as if you are meeting for the first time, without any predispositions of the previous experience? How can that be possible? That can only be possible if you do not have any sensation out of perception.
Yes.
Are you able to comprehend?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Conventionally, I meet him for the next time with hatred. If somebody insults me, next time I meet with a hatred, an aggression, or whatnot. Isn't it? Conventionally. Why? Why? Because I'm carrying that in my sensation. I'm carrying that, and I am actually living in that moment which has already occurred. Because I'm carrying in the body, in sensation. It is not about awareness anymore.
So
yes.
Can I
yes,
say something?
Yeah.
So yeah, one could also be careful to not prevent a repeat of the incident. That's not from the sensation.
That be careful, we need to inquire a little deeper. What do we mean by the be careful? It is already by default, there is a responsive memory that is operating within an organism. Now, be careful is an extra caution that we are putting as an image in the mind, that I have to be careful, and that be careful is bringing a sensation within the body, an alertness, extra alertness. So I am now not looking at this moment as fresh. It has an impression of the previous one. Do you see this? Psychologically.
Yeah. Yes. there was something else. This little random.
Yes.
So any kind of travel when one wants to go to a historical place or a natural place or to a forest is not really rational action. It's coming from.
No, you never know. From the action, from P1, we cannot conclude about P3 or P2. From where it is coming, one has to inquire, you know. So A and B, two people. Now A and B both are going to some place to visit. A is going incidentally.
When we talk of setting a goal and then doing it. So, I mean, when you travel, you do set a goal. I mean, especially when you travel.
This is very important for all of us. This is important to understand. Now, the setting goal physically and psychologically are two different things. Any event of life, any moment in life has got two dispositions. One is the actual thing that is happening physically, and other is the psychological disposition. Now, suppose you are booking your tickets. That may be counted.
I mean, one is going to a far off place, not just taking a stroll somewhere. Then in that case,
then there is a booking of tickets. That may be counted as planning, right? But whether it is a psychological planning or not can be vetted by the individual. If suppose that journey doesn't happen, what is the state of being? Is he going to be sad because the journey is not happened, or it's okay? Now it's just another moment to lead the life. So that's a psychological disposition. Do you see? Yeah.
So if one deliberately sets a goal to go to a natural place or to a forest or something like that, that's not really depletion of energy, you're saying?
Yeah, if one is not sticky.
One is
about it, that I have to go or I must not go. These things are not there.
So if one is flexible about it.
Because see, what we need to understand here, for all of us to understand this, that if there is no goal in life, will the life be stopped? It never. Then also some or other thing is going to happen in the life. And from where those things will happen? From the whole that is coming. So think about the energy with which that is going to come. Now the goal is a limited energy that you are operating at. And when there is an agenda-lessness, then the whole universe is operating together. Are you able to comprehend this? Energy-wise.
So limited goal as in going to a forest, and the universal
it depends. It depends upon the way you are deciding to go. If you are obsessively deciding to go, then you
block everything else.
You ignore everything else. You are focusing on that only.
Yeah.
That's how the energy is limited when we sketch a goal. Now energy gets expanded, released, and becomes abundant because you are aligned with the universe. You are aligned with the truth. Now the way it is operating as an emergence. And then also something is going to happen.
Yeah. So just to clarify this a bit more for myself, so I may have set a goal to go to a particular place, but if I'm not fixated, then it may turn out to be travel to many different places or something, or something like that.
Yeah. You never know. You just thought to go somewhere, but you went to somewhere else. That's also absolutely fine for you.
Yeah.
If you are in that state.
Yeah.
So even the action, from, like the plan coming from P3, or you just go. When you take the second scenario, it is still at that moment thought, like P3 is, the thought is well planned, have a goal, all that stuff, right? You want to book flights, when the hotels will be
so
free.
those are operating, but one is not fixated about the outcome. If outcome is something else, then also if the individual is okay with, then it is a dynamic perception. The session is going to end in few seconds, so let's rejoin and explore this together.